want to thank everybody for coming here today and helping us, so to speak, put a exclamation mark on our campaign headquarters, which actually has been in operation now since the middle of July. And if you look around, you will see lots of things that go on here. We have half a dozen phones where people have been calling, thousands of people, constituents in our district asking for their support. We've had people out hanging up posters, which hopefully you've seen in store windows, and hundreds of lawn signs that folks have allowed to be placed on their property. We need as many volunteers as we can get in the next 8 weeks or more to continue to do all these things and to do them well. We're out every Saturday, and we'll extend that as we go down the line, like we were this morning at supermarkets, handing out literature and shopping bags and meeting people. And it's just a lot of fun in one way, and it's extremely helpful in another. So if you're free, we welcome you to join us. There are forms on the table immediately to your right when you come in there, volunteer forms. So if you have some time, even if it's a couple hours, or whatever it may be, just fill out that form and give us your phone number so we can call you. Now, Janet here, who's our manager of our headquarters, who put it together from the beginning, along with a number of other people who are here working with her, and they're in this room, in different places, doing different things all the time. And we're grateful to each and every one of them. Judy Stupp back there, who is working with Janet closely on one of our major projects, and that is to get folks to go in their neighborhood, door to door, asking their neighbors to consider supporting us. A very powerful way to do it. Now, I'm doing that myself, but there are over 100 and some odd thousand registered voters in my district. Obviously, I can't get to see them all, and personally. So we need individuals like you to be our surrogates in your neighborhood. I emphasize that, in your neighborhood, to go and meet your neighbors and ask for their support. Those are the things we're doing here. We'll continue to be doing for the next 8 or 9 weeks. This is going to be an unusual campaign for lots of reasons, nationally, locally. I would dare say that half the people in this room are registered Democrats, and I'm not going to ask them to identify themselves. But they are enlightened Democrats. And they are people, civic leaders and others, who feel that it's not the party, it's the person. Who is going to represent us and do the job we want to see done? And that's what counts. And that's why they're here. There are 83,000 Democrats registered in my district and only 31,000 Republicans. So obviously, year after year, election after election, the Democrats have said party is important, but it's not as important as getting someone to represent us who does the job for us in Albany, in the city of New York, and in our community that we need to be done. And our record is clear. It's clear. 36 years of doing everything and anything you could possibly imagine. All you have to do is travel Northeast Queens and go from place to place. Start in College Point, the Pappenhausen Institute. Go to Fort Totten Park and the Bayside Historical Society. Go to the Queens Farm Museum. And by the way, there's a big agricultural fair on the weekend of the 20th and 21st, and I hope you'll all come. That place was going to be sold. We protected it in a variety of ways, including state law, for historic and horticultural purposes only. And 400,000 people come there every year, the most visited facility of its kind anywhere in the state. And then you go north to the Alley Pond Environmental Center, which we helped create. And if you go there, you'll see Padavan Pavilion, the educational building. And then you go to Udell's Cove, the gateway, and all the land that we helped acquire, and the variances that we fought from developers who tried to despoil that community in that area. And then you come further south to YMCA on Cross Island, and next to it, the Little League fields, Padavan Prella Field, which we helped get for them many, many years ago. Over 2,000 boys and girls play there every year. And it would not have been there if we had not been able to achieve what we set out to achieve. And then up the road, there's a campus of 3 schools in Glen Oaks called the Padavan Campus, which my opponent kind of took some umbrage to because he didn't like the idea my name is on it. And the chancellor, when asked that direct question by the New York Times, said, listen, you find any legislator is going to get me 32 acres of land to build 3 schools, I'll put his name on it. But so far, the only one who's done it is Frank Padavan. So the answer to the question of why do people cross the party lines to get us where we are is reflective of all those things. Now, in a macro sense, there are other issues that certainly we are responsible for. The top of our list is education. And we have fought in Albany. I'm a leader in Albany in the Senate on education aid and other things that make it possible for us to deliver the best educational system that we can. This year, we get $8.3 billion out of $21 billion. It's roughly 40%. We've never been at that level. We work with the Campaign for Fiscal Equity to get to that point. And when the mayor said he wanted to put together a $13 billion capital program, but he needed half from the state, I, in the Senate, led that battle to see that it was done. And this year alone, 71 new schools will be opening up in the city of New York, dealing with overcrowding, dealing with small class size. It's space, and it's money, and it's teachers. And in the last category, I'm endorsed by the UFT and the principals. And I have always been. And this year more than else. And why? Because they know when it comes to education, Frank Padavan delivers.